Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the 4 people who were found slain in the back of an SUV in western Wisconsin.
It's in rural Dunn County, Wisconsin, where authorities are investigating a quadruple homicide. 4 bodies were found in a car in the town of Sheridan, which is about an hour and 20 minutes east of the Twin Cities.
Now, the 4 victims, who were 2 males and 2 females, have been identified.
The Ramsey County Medical Examiner identified the victims as 20-year-old Jasmine Strum, 35-year-old Lois Foreman III, and 26-year-old Matthew Pettis, all of which were from St. Paul. The 4th victim is 30-year-old Natasha Presley of Stillwater.
Now, once the bodies were identified, they notified the victims' families, and the families came out with a news conference trying to get answers, seeing if anybody saw anything, and hopefully get to the bottom of everything.
If you know something, say something. Because if this individual could do this to these 4 people, they could do it to you or your family member.
I'm Walls P. This is Matter of Opinion. Let's dig into it. If you like the video, hit that subscribe button and definitely click that notification bell. And don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments section. And if you want to see our raw, unfiltered content, definitely check out our locals. The link is in the description. Now, the way the bodies were found was there was a farm worker working out in the field. As he was working out on the field, he noticed the SUV. So when he approached the SUV, he saw the dead bodies in the vehicle, alerted law enforcement, and boom, that's how we got the investigation started.
A witness says he was working in a cornfield Sunday afternoon when he found a car about 50 yards into the field with the bodies inside. The sheriff now says that vehicle was a black SUV with Minnesota plates. They haven't released any information about a suspect, only saying there is no apparent danger to the public right now. They're looking for anyone who may have been in the area of the town of Sheridan Town Hall this weekend to come forward with any information.
Now, this story is sad and at the same time chilling. Because think about it, if you have a loved one, whether that be your spouse, your son, your daughter, and they say, hey, I'm going out for a couple of hours, can you watch my child, or can you watch your nephew, your niece, whoever it may be, and that's the last conversation that you have with them because somebody murdered them. That could happen to any one of us at any given time. You would never see it coming. And that's what exactly happened to these family members. And these people were just going out to a bar to have a good time, and at the end of the night, they wind up shot and killed and left in the middle of nowhere, hoping that nobody will discover them.
I last spoke to my daughter Saturday around 8:30.
Presley says Natasha dropped her daughter off at his house before heading out for the night.
She was just like, Dad, I want to go hang out with some friends.
Little did he realize it'd be the last time he'd hear from his baby girl.
Now, in a case like this where there's very little eyewitnesses of what happened after they left the bar, the family did what they thought was best and went and spoke to the public, trying to find answers. Did anybody see anything? Please come out and speak up, because at the end of the day, this could happen to any one of us.
Dunn County investigators are relying on tips from the public and evidence found at the scene as they try to piece together what led up to 4 people being found shot to death in a black SUV found in this cornfield Sunday afternoon.
As our investigation has progressed, we believe that the suspect or suspects in this case left the area after abandoning the SUV in the cornfield.
I'm angry. I truly believe somebody knows something.
If you know something,
Say something.
say something. Because if this individual could do this to these 4 people, they could do it to you or your family members.
My daughter would be the last person that anybody would want to harm.
Now, eventually, the police wind up getting their 2 suspects. How they got their suspects, I don't know. But they're pretty confident about the 2 people of interest. One of them they have in custody, the other one is on the run. And the crazy thing about it is that the father of the victim, Natasha, says he knows both of the suspects.
For the families of the 4 Minnesotans found shot to death and left in a car in a western Wisconsin cornfield, it's been a day of mixed emotions now that police have made 1 arrest.
We're very grateful, and we're still processing. I think everything has just been happening so fast.
Warrants issued for 2 suspects led St. Paul police to arrest a 56-year-old man in connection with the murders. The Dunn County Sheriff's Office says the other suspect is 38-year-old Antoine Suggs, seen here. Kara Levin does not typically name suspects until they're charged, but the Dunn County Sheriff's Office says Suggs is still on the run and could be armed and dangerous, posing a public safety concern.
Initially, these warrants were issued for hiding a corpse
4 counts of hiding a corpse. That's what we can prove right now.
For Damone Presley, whose 30-year-old daughter Natasha was one of the 4 killed, news of Thursday's arrest came as a surprise.
I do know him.
In more ways than one.
That individual is well known by our family.
The individual Presley is talking about is the 56-year-old man currently in custody.
It blew me away to see this individual and who it was and the relationship that we have had, that he was any way of any sort involved in what happened.
According to Damone, the other suspect, Antoine Suggs, was also known to the family. Suggs and Damone's daughter, Natasha, recently became friends, and Damone says Suggs was even at a birthday party for one of her kids.
He was there.
Never imagining he'd be wanted in connection with her death and the death of 3 others.
How dare you? How dare you? But justice will be served.
Now, it is a sad case because what would make these individuals that know these people, or at least know one of the victims, do such a heinous act? Now, I don't know if they killed them, but we do know they played a part in hiding the bodies. And the thing that's sad about it is that you know the people that did this. Now, if y'all had some bad altercation or whatever the case may be, what was so bad that made you drive these people to the middle of nowhere and kill them? And even if you had just a problem with one of them, you bring all of them to their death by gunshot up close and personal. Now, I get it. Some people might believe in eye for an eye, so to speak, or retaliation of this magnitude, but nothing of these victims screamed that they did anything to these people or did anything that warrant such a retaliation. And you could hear it in the father's voice because he's upset, he's mad, he's furious, because nothing come to mind of what could make somebody do such a heinous act to his child. Now, one of the main things that made me speak up and definitely bring this news to light is the optics of this situation. Here you have 4 black individuals who are found dead in the back of an SUV in a cornfield. Now, if you ask any black person, we've seen this before. The first thing that comes to mind if you ask any black person, not all, but a good majority, is this was done by a white person. That's the first thing that comes to a black person's mind. Not everybody, but a good portion of it. Trust me. Just think the measures that these individuals went through to point all the attention away from them. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to these crimes, let law enforcement do their job. Let them do their investigation. Because think about it. Going into a situation with a preconceived notion can spell disaster, unnecessary disaster at that. We're talking rioting, uproar, people calling for this person's head, people calling for that person's head. We already have a lot of racial tension. We don't need to keep piling on to the list. And I hope this brings awareness to everybody that it's not a color thing, it's not a group of people thing, it's just bad apples. People making stupid decisions. Rest in peace to the victims, all the victims' family members and loved ones. I'm sorry for your loss, and may there be swift justice served to these 2 individuals and whoever their accomplices are. That's gonna do it for this episode of Matter of Opinion. I'm Walls P, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
It's a matter of opinion.